Welcome back to CBS This Morning. New unemployment numbers out this morning show a huge number of Americans are still asking for government help. The Labor Department says another 1.5 million Americans filed for jobless benefits last week. More than 45 million claims have been submitted since the coronavirus crisis began 3 months ago. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger joins us. Jill, numbers down slightly from last week, but this is still a very big number, isn't it?
It is, and we were expecting that claims would be down maybe to 1.2 or 1.3 million, a still huge number, but this is just a slight improvement from the prior week. And, you know, although it is the 11th consecutive week where we are seeing claims go down, we are still so high, so many Americans suffering. Remember, back in February, we saw weekly claims in the 200,000 range. We're still at 1.5 million, 3 months into the financial fallout from the pandemic. So this is still a really serious situation, Anthony.
Joe, we did see a bump in retail sales in May. They were up nearly 18%. How encouraging is that for an economic rebound?
Well, I think it is encouraging. And like the monthly jobs numbers and even these slight improvements in the weekly numbers, we like to take some wins here. But I think it's also important to remember the context. April was the worst month ever on record for retail sales. May was the best month. So it's great to have a rebound, but it's also really important to note we've got a long way to go. I always like to think of it this way. If someone said, hey, there's a 12-foot deep hole and you have to fill it. And now a month later we say, great news, it's only 10 feet deep. It's still a 10-foot deep hole that needs to be filled. In that retail sales report, one item really caught my eye, clothing sales. They were up 188% in May, but they're still down more than 63% from a year ago. The hole is deep, and we need to fill it. It's going to take some time.
Jill, the Fed chairman has warned that there's still significant uncertainty ahead. What do you think the likelihood of another stimulus or the necessity of another stimulus package is at this point?
Well, Jerome Powell did testify before Congress this week, and he made it quite clear that there are so many Americans that are going to be hurt, and some of those are in the hardest hit sectors, tourism, restaurants, bars. He believes that both the Federal Reserve and Congress are going to have to keep those efforts up. That does mean probably a new round of stimulus or the extension of unemployment benefits. The other thing that Powell noted is that the pandemic has been an inequality increaser, meaning those most vulnerable, low-income Americans, Black Americans, Hispanics, they are hurting the most. They will likely need the most government assistance, Anthony.
Yeah, concerns about widening the divide, the economic divide in the country. All right, Jill Schlesinger, thank you, Jill.